all films have their problems, or maybe I should say all films have their challenges. That's what makes the work exciting. Certainly this one did in all the best ways. I remember when I read the script, I thought it was fantastic. I thought it was just sparked my imagination. I thought it was great. And one of the things about it, obviously, it's a dark comedy. And I thought that was a fantastic challenge. How to make a piece where you felt empathetic towards the central character, who was also did a lot of bad things. I thought that's great. And I thought the points it made, the social commentary, were wonderful. But they only worked if you both enjoyed this man tremendously and were also repelled by what he did. I remember the poster for the film had a big banner across it, the picture of Michael Caine, and it said, "Die, yuppie scum," which I thought was pretty cool. So embarking on the film, I knew that the biggest challenge was to find the tone that would sustain both the darkness and the comedy. Of course, first of all, you had Michael Caine, and without Michael, there really is no film. He really is the embodiment of this guy. Michael is just tremendously charming and tremendously devilish, and has a great range and an ability to both pull you in and be just tremendously charming, but also have a great storehouse of anger and deviltry. So we had Michael, and with that, we're 90% of the way there. For me, then, the challenge was to set the tone for the rest of the picture, the cinematography and the style of it. And I remember in pre-production searching for the metaphor, searching for what would give me the guiding principle of making the film. And it really came in pre-production when we were scouting locations in New York City. I remember we had gone down to an abandoned subway platform way below the working system on 42nd Street underneath Grand Central. In order to get down there, at the time, there were just a sea of homeless guys, real-life homeless guys, on the street. We worked our way down. I was with Paul Goldsmith, the cinematographer, and Howard Cummings, the production designer, some others. We went down. We were escorted by the transit police way down to an unused platform. So I'm standing there kind of trying to imagine the scene. A lot of the key moments in the film take place in a subway platform. And I'm thinking, great, okay, so we'll have, Graham will come along here. He's just found out that he's been passed over for the promotion. He's just totally in a rage, and he stands waiting for the train, and a homeless guy accosts him, asks him for some money, and Graham brushes him aside. And meanwhile, I'm standing and looking and saying, great, the train will come from over there, and Graham will be here, and the homeless guy will come this way. And Graham kind of pushes him, not really meaning to do much, but because of his rage, the guy is thrown back and trips on the edge and falls in front of the train, which of course hits him. And I'm thinking, this will be great. Then the train comes to a halt, and Graham comes forward, and he'll look down, and he'll see the bloody body down there. And one of the transit cops stops me, and he says, hey, it doesn't work that way. And I go, well, what do you mean? And he says, well, when a guy gets hit by a train, there's nothing left down there. I mean, he's 300 yards down the track. There's nothing there. And I thought, that's it. That's perfect. So Graham, in his rage, will push this guy. The guy will fall in front of the train. The train will go through, come to a halt. People are coming off the train. Graham is looking up and down. He moves forward. He looks down onto the tracks, and there's nothing there. And in that moment, he realizes that he can kill and he can get away with it. And I thought, that's it. That's the metaphor for the film. That's what makes it a dark comedy. If you see the body and you see the blood, you've blown it. Then it's a horror movie. And that was not the movie that I wanted to make. So I thought, great. Now I know how to approach the film. The script had another problem when I was first shown it. It was great. It was adapted from a British book. It worked really well. I loved the character. I loved the situation. I loved the commentary. But it ended with Graham being arrested. That after all he'd done, society had its revenge. he's led away in handcuffs into a police car and taken away. I felt very strongly that that would not work in the film. That if you were going to ask the audience to like this man, to go on the journey with him, that you couldn't punish him at the end, that it would have the effect of making the audience feel that they were being punished and to feel bad about what they had enjoyed. I felt very strongly that Graham had to get away with it. I also felt that that was the meaning of the film. That was its social commentary, and that was very important to me. And we began filming.
Marshall.
Graham, congratulations. I heard you're going to replace Mr. Brewster. It's about time.
Yes, I guess it is at that. Just about time.
Somewhere in the middle of production, it was decided that it would be prudent to shoot the original ending. This was a problem because I was really working on the notion that Graham would prevail and was directing all the scenes and the tone of the film to that end, but nevertheless, that's what was decided, so we had to switch gears and see if we could make this story satisfying with Graham being caught. We cut the film together, and I was worried, but we took it off to its preview screenings. I remember the first one was in New Jersey. We all went out. We screened the film. It seemed to go great. People were clearly, totally with Michael until the end. When the film ended, it was clear that, just as I feared, people felt deflated, that they had gone along for the ride and then been told, but the guy's a bad guy. And sure enough, in the focus group afterwards, everybody said they loved Michael and Swoosie Kurtz and Peter Riegert and Liz McGovern. They loved it, but they hated the end. So now we had a dilemma. We were going to have another preview screening in about a week. What to do? So we went back to the editing room. We clearly didn't have time to go and shoot anything. Finally, we decided to go into the body of the film and pull out shots and create a new scene for the end in which Graham is triumphant in the corner office. And we needed one other little event. We needed a plane. So we went across the hall at Sound 1, and we found a stock shot of a Cessna and cut it in, and it still wasn't working quite right. And we fooled around with the soundtrack, did a little magic, and sure enough, made the scene work, took it out to California, previewed the film again, and this time it worked perfectly. People loved the film and actually cheered at the end. And we thought, yes, our instincts had been right. That was the film that we meant to make. I also remember that after that screening, Michael was there. And he came up to me and he was very happy. He said, it really works great. He said, just one little thing. He said, I think the audience is so with me there that if you just get a little close-up of me, just maybe a little grin at the end there, you can really sell it. And as he had been all through the making of the film, Michael's instincts were always absolutely right. He knew exactly what the audience was feeling. We went back, we found a close-up from earlier in the film, we cut it in, Michael turning from the window with his devilish grin, and that was the end that absolutely worked, and the end that's on the film.